of the top 10 in supercars are good enough to come and do what I just did. Brett, spot on, spot off.
Boy, I tell you something, man. I took major offense to this comment. Uh, as someone who loves racing and who appreciates different disciplines, for him to say that he could bring his nine other buddies over here and they run top 10 and our best cup guy finish 11th. I mean, that's not what he's saying, but he's insinuating that all of him and his buddies are just as good in this cup car as the cup drivers. And I have a problem with that. I don't think he was trying to insult our drivers and their talent. I know our drivers had some things to say after the race, like they should be embarrassed that this happened. I really wish we had AJ Allmendinger on this show right now because he made a lot of comments that we talked about at one of the earlier road courses this year in regards to the fact we were in Austin and he came to Nutrient Solutions Hospitality. And he said these guys, like an SVG, couldn't jump into an Xfinity car and go out there and do this because they're harder to drive. The shifting patterns are different. But given their experience, they can come in and jump into these cup cars and do it. I was of the belief that nobody like this would show up in a part time effort and have an opportunity as a first time starter or even a plug and play guy and have an opportunity to win this race. If this is Daytona or Talladega and it's a Brad Keselowski situation, 100% I believe it can happen. But to have a guy show up from wherever the hell he's from, I know he races in Australia. Where's he from? New Zealand?
Yes.
Shows up from New Zealand via Australia and he kicks our tails. Like, I never thought I would see this happen. It's not like this guy has the same pit crew every week. It's not like he has a great relationship with the crew chief. It's not like he's worked with the engineers to get his setup, just perfect for that particular race. He showed up and he was faster than everybody else at the end of the race and he kicked our guys' asses. And when he made this comment, I was like, wow. Like, I don't know if this should be an insult to our guys or not. So, spot on for the fact he said what he was thinking. Spot off for just how I guess it was a gut punch for me. And again, I'll admit it, I was wrong. Project 91 is an awesome marketing effort, obviously a subsidiary of Trackhouse. I love what they're doing, the drivers that they're putting in there. But to go and have a guy show up in a part time effort with a not, I don't know, I'm blown away by it.
TJ.
Um, I didn't take as much offense to it. I follow the V8 supercars a little bit, and those guys are really good. Everything lined up perfectly for him this weekend because they drive cars that are very similar to our cars. A lot of horsepower, smaller tire. So honestly, I feel like coming to this was probably easier than what he normally has to drive over there. And the guys won, I mean, probably close to 100 V8 supercar races. The guy is no joke. He's basically the modern day. I don't know how many Marcus has or whatever, but I mean, you know how good Marcus was when he come over here and ran road courses, especially. Now, do I think he comes over there and does this on an oval? Absolutely not. I do think, though, they race in the rain as well. So, with the wet weather experience, they run on street courses. Everything lined up perfectly for this guy to come over here. Limited dry track time, which probably hurts our guys here. I don't like. I am not surprised by this one bit at all. This guy, he's a phenomenal race car driver. He's won in a 410 sprint car. He's won in all sorts of forms of racing. But for him to come over here, we know the Trackhouse cars can be fast, and it's a new track. Nobody has any info for this track. So I think it's the perfect storm for him to come over here and win this race. And he drove. I watched people pass him, and I watched him as soon as they got position on him. I saw him let these guys go. He ran a very smart race, and I think the race at the end with Justin, that was a phenomenal battle too between him and Justin. That was to make the passes they were making and getting off in the wet, diving. I didn't think they were both making turn four when they were doing that. So to watch those two guys and for shout out to Justin for being up there duking it out with this guy. So I'm not surprised by this one bit at all. Another reference for this is, we had another V8 supercar driver, part-time guy, Owen Kelly. I don't know if you remember Owen. Freddie does probably. He come over here and drove the KBM or the Joe Gibbs Racing cars, Xfinity, Busch cars, Xfinity cars, and he was very competitive, like top five. And he was not a prominent V8 supercar guy, like not even a full time guy. And he would run top five. And I think those guys, it just fits their wheelhouse. These guys will not come over here and repeat that stuff on an oval. They can adapt. Some of them can get good at it, I'm sure. But like, I don't think like even looking at AJ yesterday, where did AJ run most of the day? Right inside the top
He,
10
he
ish
was
or
right around 8th to 10th. Yeah, he wasn't
yeah.
anywhere near as good as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, man, things lined up perfectly for Shane. Fast car, new track, wet course, and the guy's a phenomenal race car driver. So I am not surprised by this at all. I don't think he goes to an oval though and has the same success, or I don't think he goes to Watkins Glen and just dominates like he did today. Like I think his three fastest. Someone said his three best laps were still 2.5 tenths better than third or second places or anyone else the rest of the day. His best lap. So the guy obviously does this for a living over there. I mean, you look up his highlights, you're going to see tons of street course wins, tons of road course wins. So this is right in his wheelhouse. So congrats to Justin Marks for getting this done and getting this guy in the car. But this isn't. Our guys are mainly oval guys. We've added some road courses in there, and we do say our guys have gotten really good at road course stuff over the years. I mean, we used to talk about the ringers coming in. You don't have ringers coming in anymore like this. I do think this is more of a one-off thing, but I mean it's definitely tough, but he definitely did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, spot on. How do you argue with him right now? But to TJ's point, I think this just lended itself perfectly to him. It's a track our guys are not familiar with. It's a track he is familiar with. It's a car that he is. It's almost a slowed down version of what he races. I don't know that he is this. I think he runs well if we go to Watkins Glen tomorrow, but I don't know that he wins the race and is as dom. He was dominant all weekend. I felt like he was the fastest car in practice. He was probably going to sit on the pole if he had not committed to running one lap when them other guys ran two. And he ran top three majority of the race before that pit strategy deal played out. I don't know that he goes to Sonoma and does that. I don't know that he goes to Watkins Glen and is that much better than everybody because of the amount of laps our guys have at those racetracks. I think this was just a perfect storm for him, and this was a great move by Justin and his guys to put him in this race. Obviously, it paid off. This is his wheelhouse. This is what he races. He races street courses. He runs these kind of cars, and he looked like he was more adaptable to that facility than our guys were yesterday. He never. I don't remember any point of him making a mistake yesterday. All the guys that were fast from the Cup side, Danny Hamlin on the pole makes a mistake on the second or third lap, whatever it was. Tyler super fast, makes a mistake, drives off into the barrier. The 20 drives off in the barrier. Martin hit the lottery he hit everything yesterday. The guys that were really fast still made mistakes. He never got out of line. It seemed like, except for maybe when he was battling Justin. I mean, they had a flawless weekend, and it's hard to argue with him if he would have told if you had 10 Trackhouse cars yesterday and the top 10 guys came over here from the Supercar series, they probably would have took up half the top 10, I would assume, at least. So
This was
good
me.
for him.
This was me fanboying out after the race, Freddie. But the race is over, and I'm pulling for Justin as hard as I can. I'm throwing shit at the TV, and I literally said, "Man, I hope this guy fails tech." If you're sitting there at the track and you've put in all these gutless hours, you perceive the race differently than if you're sitting at home having a cocktail. And I was like, man, I hope Justin takes his ass out if he passes it. And then Justin made that crossover, and I'm like, get him. And then the guy cleared him again. And I'm like, all right, put him in the barriers. We need a win right here, boys. And he didn't do it. And after the race, I was like, well, maybe he'll fail tech. Like, I was still pulling for my guy. That's the thing that was fun down here in Myrtle Beach.
But I will say, on the other side of it, I mean, this is a huge success for Justin, and it shows that other teams can really do the same. I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit as well, but NASCAR is trying to expand globally, and this just shows that Justin bringing somebody from another sport to have success there and to show that his team is really one of the best of the best right now. Like, this is a no-brainer for any team owner in my eyes. I think Justin just
Justin Marks Case Justin Marks looks more and more brilliant every single day that he's an owner. Like the things that he's doing, he's innovative on the marketing and business side, obviously on the competition side. They're better right now. Hell, they were better last year than, in my mind, Chip Ganassi Racing ever was in terms of being a part of the conversation all year. Yeah, I know Kyle Larson had 1 year where he won 5 races in Ganassi stuff, but I mean, they're sitting here already with 2 wins from 2 of their cars, and obviously Daniel could win anywhere. So Justin Marks looks like a genius right now.